As we set into the Courage Gym guest experience, I want to just really say that I'm excited that you're here. And to be a part of the guest experience is something that is not offered to everyone. And I really wanted to start off by helping us get into this experience, this space of the Courage Gym. Uh, the Courage Gym guest experience is truly that. We are members of the Courage Gym, and we are inviting guests to come and join us in this mastermind community where we consistently find ways to really work out on our own courage muscles for whatever happens to be courageous for us. Note as a part of this Courage Gym that each member here is on their own extraordinary journey. And I've been liking the word extraordinary because every single person here is ordinary and they're extra. And it's that combination here that really allows us to really play with each other and to help each other move forward in ways that we wouldn't normally do. One of the overall arching themes of what we do in the Courage Gym for this time period is uncharted journey. And what that transpires to be is to help us take the paths that we haven't done before, to help us go into areas where the experts don't know, the gurus don't know, and it's not about following someone else's formula. It's about actually getting really clear and being really courageous enough to follow the formula, framework, and path that is like unique to ourselves. You're experiencing the Courage Gym guest experience because that's part of what's unique to me. Like I could have done a webinar or I could have tried to do some other areas, but like I want to bring people in and simply experience it. And so I'm playing with this as well. You're finding the Courage Gym that like I'm a participant as much as I am a leader here. And I do that intentionally because you're in a room full of leaders and we are all co-creating this space. We are co-leading this experience. And every day, the Courage Gym emerges even more fully because someone else has joined, someone else starts a conversation, and we're really allowing this place to be the container that can help you wherever you have been on your journey to get to wherever else you need to go. So I can say that from a high level perspective here, but we're going to get some time to actually dive in deeply and make that real. In the Courage Gym, we have a number of different ways that we meet with each other. Oftentimes we'll meet in the workshop format, which we call an expedition along the journey. Other times we'll do some deep coaching, or we have some other ways of breaking out things. We like to keep things similar to a gym where you can get Pilates in the morning or do ab blasters at night. We have different ways and different modalities of really serving one another. So throughout today's guest experience, it's a little longer than our normal sessions. Our normal sessions are typically an hour. We have 90 minutes set aside here to give you a chance to experience a few different modalities and also get a chance to go even deeper along a few of them. Before we get into it, well, actually, I was going to say before, but I realized that we're already in the gym. Like just even me taking this time to explain it in this way, it brings us all in. What I want to do now is do one of the practices that we have inside of our gym, which is to set clear agreements. And the agreements here are an opportunity for us to create the space. I invite you as you go through this guest experience, not just to, let me say this, to experience it on multiple levels. You have access to the recording afterwards here as well. So you can experience it in one level this time around and come back and watch it and take on a different perspective. One of the members in the Courage Gym recently said, you end up playing like multi-dimensions. It's like working in multiple dimensions with you, Niiamah. And I really took that to heart. And now, and you'll find this within the Courage Gym, we listen to what people say, and we find a way to use that to discover something new about ourselves, embrace it, and then leverage that, turn that into something that sets us apart and makes it even more distinct. So I'm going to play now in the multidimensional world. Now that has been up here, let me do that on purpose. And we're going to be doing that on purpose now. So what are the multiple dimensions that you can play in this Courage Gym experience, both as a guest and overall within the Courage Gym? The first one is to experience it as a participant. Come in, We'll have different exercises, we'll have different conversations. Really allow yourself to be enveloped and immersed in this experience for whatever transformations may become available to you. That's the first way to go through it. The second way is to play it as a leader. Whether you're a coach or you are a leader who uses coaching, or you've never been exposed to coaching, but you're looking to influence and find other ways to help people motivate themselves into their own actions. There are some things that are going to come up in this conversation here, this experience here, that you can use and add to your leadership toolkit. So you can take a look and see to experience this as a leader, both in the session, as in how might you influence and lead the experience itself, as well as from the standpoint of different toolkits along the way, or different ways you can do it. One of the tools, just to kind of point this out, is the creating agreements tool. I never walk into a space without setting clear intentions and clear agreements if I can, because in doing so, whatever the default is that other people will be walking into has actually shifted into a container, an experience that is powerfully set up for the transformations or the outcomes that I'm looking for. So even here, if you stopped right now and left right now and took it upon yourself to take the tool as a leader of creating your environment and creating agreements, you'll be served. You can also play this here from the experience of someone that is creating transformational experiences. What goes on? Why are certain questions asked? How might you have done it in the past? There's so many different ways that you can experience being in the courage gym, and I want to make sure that we call that out right now. One other dimension that you can play is let's call it Bizarro You. Bizarro You is it's this idea here that at the end of the day, the courage that we're talking about is really about the courage to be yourself as you create your impact, influence, and income in the world. And we'll do it through some external activities, different goals that everyone can see, but we're really going to be spending time on your mindset, on the limiting beliefs, on the way that you see the world. Because if we can shift the way that you see the world as a high performer, and as someone who's already been a trailblazer in the things that you've done, you'll find the paths forward from there. And one of the ways that we get a chance to play with that is with this idea of the Bizarro You. The Bizarro You comes from the superhero world. I think it's Superman that had like Bizarro Superman. And basically it's like the opposite of you, another version of you, almost like a doppelganger. And while we're in this space for you to be more you, I also want to open up this space that perhaps who you think you are is not fully all of who you are. And so you might come to this experience here and play it very differently than anything else you've ever done. Anything that you even see for yourself. You're like, you know what? Normally I would be the first person to raise my hand. Today I'm going to take a step back. Or normally I would wait to be called upon, but today I'm going to lean in. We get a chance to experiment and experience different versions of ourselves so that we can actually use this as a space to integrate it all and allow that to be powerful as well. So let's talk about some agreements here. What I'll do is I'll state a few of them. I'll state the agreements for us here, and then I'm going to open up the floor and just ask as a collective unit for us to just raise our hands and just say if we're in agreement. Can you please, if there's anything that you have any questions on along the way, feel free to raise your hand. Agreement to me does not necessarily mean that everything's a yes. Actually, let's start off with that first agreement right off the bat. We choose to allow this space to be a place where I'm trying to find the right word for it. Unfortunately, the language is not coming right to me right now. Dissent. We choose to allow this to be a place where dissent can live. What that means then is that you are at choice throughout this entire experience. You can say no, and we can find a way to figure out what would really serve you in that moment. Or you can say no, and your no is just period. No is a full sentence. It's complete. Great. You don't want to do it. Awesome. We're going to continue moving on. You can stay here with me. You can go out and do whatever else you want to do. And the reason for this here is that in the stating of no, in the claiming of that no, all right, we do two things. One, you are making a choice. So you're going to get your experience from whatever takes place as a result of that. You will grow based on whatever that no meant for you. Two, yeses don't mean anything in spaces where a no is not allowed. Yeses don't mean anything in a space where no is not allowed. And that's really important because we're going to be like consistently looking for where we want to, where your edge is, where the edge of your comfort zone is. We're going to take you right to that edge, and we're going to invite you to go beyond that. And the true courage comes from you going for having that internal decision to move forward and move outside of that. So we want to give you that there is a confrontation in that choice. And we don't want to make it just a default thing that you have to, or anything that anything else is being here. We want to make sure that you're in choice around it. So the first thing is that dissent lives here. The second thing is that throughout this conversation, I'm going to hide nothing and hold nothing back, and I invite you to do the same. Right? The agreement specifically is that I'm going to hide nothing and hold nothing back. I'm also choosing to serve you rather than please you. That is also a part of my agreement here to you. The third thing is that this is a space unlike any other space you participate in. In this space here, we have life-changing and world-shaping conversations on a regular basis. And I want to just put it out here right now in the agreement that we open ourselves up to the possibility that this can be a life-changing, a world-shaping conversation. It might to change your life and to change the world in which you reside in. The next agreement I want to bring into this space is the brag zone. This is usually an agreement that I have to say, are you comfortable being uncomfortable in the brag zone? And what we mean by this here is you're surrounded by powerful people, and you'll find out just how powerful they are as the conversation continues. You'll get some chance to really meet each other and go beyond. And the element here is I want to make sure that each of you get a chance to play, not, how do I say it? I don't want us to spend 30 minutes only to find out at right before the end of the session that the extraordinary person that's in front of us. In this space, feel free to let out your accomplishments, to be as big as you want. This is a place where you can never be too messy. You can never be too big. You don't need to be humble, and you don't need to worry about coming off arrogant. In fact, in this space here, humility might actually end up not serving the person that you're with and not serving yourself, because we're here to help you go beyond where you've already been. And if it helps here, this is something I've been thinking about recently. If it helps, perhaps the most humble thing to do is to let go of the humility so that you can actually be able to grow in this space and then bring that back out in different ways later on. So that's the brag zone. And the last thing here, and I think this is, I have to say this here, you'll find that agreements are both for me, for you, and for all of us together. And what I want to make sure takes place here is an agreement that I need to make with you in order to raise my own standards to be with you here. And that agreement is that when given the choice, when at a crossroads, that I'm going to choose the courageous path. And I invite for each of you to do the same. We're going to be at different places where you can either play it safe, say what you know, or do something that like feels completely out, like that just feels completely unknown. Throughout the way that we go on the uncharted journey is one step at a time, one decision at a time. And I want to make that agreement with you all here that I'm going to do the same with you. And that in this space here, I'm going to choose the places that I don't know. I'm going to choose the places that call out more courage of me. And then we'll see where that leads us. So these are the agreements that I feel will be important for us to bring in as context for us as we play here in the gym. Any questions about those agreements? Any of them? Okay, I'm seeing none. Can I just see by a show of hands if you are in agreement with those with the agreements as stated?
Even though I really want to say no, because it's
I'm like, if you want to say no, and like you can just say if you want to like practice the no. Well, I'm glad have fun. So like let's bring that. It's so funny because like I'll set these things up and I want to create space for there to be a powerful change, a powerful new space. And at the same time, I love that we can have fun throughout this. Right. The last thing I'm going to say, and I think I now need to make sure I include this earlier. It can't help but be done in spaces with me, but the word here that I want to really bring in is practice. The way that the Courage Gym works is that this is not there's nothing I need to teach you. I'll bring in some things here, but the entire purpose of bringing in different ideas and different things is just to help you be able to see your world differently, to put a different lens on top of it, or to take a different perspective on it all. The goal of the Courage Gym is for you to get that workout or that play out. I like to call it practice, right? Where you get a chance to practice being courageous. You get a chance to practice doing something different in this space. How you do the Courage Gym is more important than what happens in the Courage Gym. That's it. Let this be a microcosm of the world that you live in and the way that you show up in this world. Let this be a model of the world that you want to live in, the way that you want to show up. So you can look at this and say, okay, is this how I'm showing up in other places in my life? Or you can also look at this and say, for the vision that I have, for the leadership that I have here, how would I want to show up within it and bring that and play with that in this space as well? All right. This is our container. This is what we're doing here in the Courage Gym. It's really interesting. Every time I set up space and agreements like this, I always wonder to myself, am I taking up too much time? Should we just jump in? It's part of the reason why I wanted the Courage Gym as a recurrent element here, so that like we can create the space and then keep running with it as opposed to using it, taking up the time each time. But what I had found was when I rushed through it, when I had just tried to go up maybe with a slide that just said, do you agree with these things here? The commitment wasn't there on myself as a facilitator as well as with everyone else, and the depth of where we were able to go was also missed. So I state this here. We might come back and just going forward. You might come in, watch this beforehand, and then we'll just jump in. But I do think it's important for us to actually make sure we know the space that we're in, and for us to co-create it. In fact, I have to practice this myself. I said for us to co-create it. Right now, I'm the one that's creating it here by inviting you to agreements. Is there anything else that you would need or what you would like to introduce here as an agreement for us as we continue?
I can't think of it in this moment, but I think it's fun to think about in the future, for the future to bring in too.
Awesome. It's really funny because I can feel right now, you guys can't see this here. I'm like sitting back and I'm looking there, but I feel a real tingling sensation in my chest. I'm like, what's going to happen right now? The thoughts in my mind are, what's going to happen right now? Am I putting them on the spot? Like, I haven't even brought them into the room to speak in the room. Like all this different things are going on through my head. I'm taking a step back like this, but I could feel a bit of things just even opening up that. I want to make sure I'm practicing being transparent and open with you as we play along this game.
I need a sweater, so I'll be right back.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's fun with this, Nana, as we continue here is one of the most powerful things that I have found about agreements is to look at it honestly from a self-interested perspective first. What do you need in order to show up more fully as yourself? What do you need in order to have the person? Yeah, I think that's the first place to go. So as you're thinking about this going forward here, start with what you would need to show up even more fully, and then bring that into the rooms going forward.
I loved the question you asked in one of the Courage Gyms was, how are you going to fool me? How are you going to fool us? So like taking that and then doing the opposite, turning that into an agreement.
Yes.
Will be fun to do. So yeah.
Yes. That's really, as you said, I'm like, yeah, that's a really fantastic way here, right? To take the time and be like, okay, Here we go. And it also gives us a chance to know how to play with you. What really playing would be like. Awesome, Nana. Have fun with it. Bring it in at any time. I'm ready. If it comes to you during this conversation, feel free to throw it in as an agreement, and otherwise we'll keep playing in the courage gym. Right? Awesome. So let's do this here. Let's give you all a chance to get to know each other and to also explore the uncharted journey for yourself. Right? In the theme of the courage gym at this time is uncharted journey, the places that you've never been before, the unknown. And all of us have climbed multiple mountains in our life, but it's the next mountain that lies ahead of us. Right? As I think about what the journey involves, I oftentimes we're looking ahead to say, how do we get to where we're going to next? What I want to do is give us a chance actually to start out to see where we are right now, and the idea of being trailblazers, people who are making our own way in the world, people who are blazing a trail where it has not yet been. I want to give us a chance to look at where we are settling. Because settling, I think about the settlers, the people who have found a place and they're like, this is my status quo, this is my environment, this is where I am, I've settled here. And then those who continue to explore and continue to blaze trails beyond that. So as we go, I want to give us a chance to really explore where we are settling. Right? The settling might come in a number of different ways. One of the things I like to look at here is what you might be settling with the clients that you're taking on. You might be settling with the job that you're in. You might be settling with the language that you use or the company that you keep. You might be settling with the thought leadership that you put out in the world, or the way that you feel like you need to be on social media and settling for what everyone else has said is available to you. The other ways that you might look at settling is really from the standpoint of tolerating. One of my coaches once said to me, Niiamah, you get what you tolerate in life. You get what you tolerate in life. And this really speaks to the standards that you set for yourself and the areas in which we will not settle. And so I want to give us a chance here as we get to know each other, as we continue down this path here together, to really explore right now where we're settling, and then use that as a jumping point for us to continue on this journey here together. All right, we'll spend a few minutes here in a breakout room where you get a chance to get to meet one another, get to spend some more time with each other. The Courage Gym is a community. It's a mastermind community, and as much as I'm here to set things up for us, you're really going to get power from the wonderful experience from the people that you get to interact with, right? The people who are on the journey with you as well. So I'm going to have us do this here. We can break out into groups of two. There's a modality that's called Dyads, and Dyads are just are in a place where you're in the groups of two, and I am going to. There's a specific way that the dyad is conducted. All right. And in this place here, I think I'll type it out and put it into the chat. You should have access to the chat afterwards. But the exercise in the dyad goes as follows. You're going to come into the room, right? You'll have about 15 minutes altogether, right? And during that 15 minutes, take some time to introduce yourselves, share whatever is necessary to really bring yourself into that room so that you're no longer strangers in that space, right? Take as long as you want. Use your time as you see fit. Right? Then you're going to enter into the space where you're really just going to allow. It's really a practice of clearing what's within you and allowing it to be said and to be expressed. Right? And then on the other end of it, someone else will be receiving and sharing as well. And the way that we do this here is that one person starts. And they say this specific sentence, and I'll type it out in here just in a second. They say, tell me something about you and what you're settling on. Tell me something about you and what you're settling on. And then the response, that is, let's say there's a person A and B. Person A says, tell me something about you and what you're settling on. And those words alone for this exercise. In that direction there, the person responding can respond, one thing about me and something I'm settling on is, and then they talk. And they can talk for 1 minute or the entire time, right? But they're just gonna share what needs to be shared at that point. The person who is listening at that you have one response in this current modality. Some other times you might invite other responses to be in there, but the response is, it's a breath in, thank you. And then it switches. So now person B goes and says, tell me something about you and something you're settling on. And that process continues for the entire time that we're in there. It's just back and forth. Thank you. Tell me something. Thank you. Tell me something. All right. And that's gonna be this experience here as we explore what it is that you're settling on. And and we'll just allow whatever comes out to come out. Any questions on that? Any questions in the modality, any of that stuff? Okay. I'm going to put the dyad question here. Okay, great. I'll set the timer for 15 minutes, and we'll come back in here and we'll continue afterwards, all right? Hey there. This is just for you if you're watching the replay here. I've sent everyone out into breakout rooms right now, and I have a few minutes here. Sometimes I'm in the breakout room as well. Today it's just the other members. And I just want to check in with you. Like, how are things for you? How are you finding this experience so far? Check in with yourself. What's been your greatest insight so far in this conversation? If you had to leave right now, what have you already found out about yourself? Or what can you do and what can you apply differently going forward? Let me take this time here to actually also let you know about, your experience in the Courage Gym. Once everyone comes back in, this is happening in real time. It's not like an edit out, like I'm just here. Once everyone comes in, we're going to continue the experience. And the members that are here right now are members of the Courage Gym. So I'm going to just keep the good stuff flowing. And I want to invite you here, if you're seeing things that really resonate with you, if you'd like to be a part of this Courage Gym, let me let you know what the process is, right? The process is what we do in the Courage. Let me tell you about the Courage Gym and such first, and I'll tell you about the process about how to come and join us, and then we'll go from there. What we do is what you're experiencing right here, right? We meet on a regular basis. Right now, we're meeting once a week as a Courage Gym, but as the group grows, we'll be adding additional sessions for us to come together. But we meet at least once a week for an hour each week. And we come in and we have an experience where we get a chance to grow and explore a part of ourselves that we wouldn't normally get a chance to explore. The members of this group here are people who have been one of the first in the many things that they've done. And let me put it this way, as it relates to them in their lives. So you might be the first person that's gone to university, or the first person that's come from another country to really create something out in a different space, in a different country. You might be the only one of you in the environments that you're in, or the one that's always speaking up, or whatever it is. We meet each week to give you another chance to explore a path that you normally wouldn't explore on your own. And we do that through a number of different modalities. Today, you're seeing us do it in a dyad format. Other times, we might do it in a group discussion. Other times, it might be a hot seat coaching or mastermind or whatever it is. All these are just different formats and features. All you need to know is that we're going to take care of you and bring out whatever tool we need in order to help you move forward. And actually, I say move forward, but I have to be very intentional about that. Yes, there's forward movement. That's a given. But I'm really looking forward is to help make sure that you are growing upwards. You're stepping and playing at a higher level than when you came in here. The people in this group know how to get things done. So forward movement is not necessarily the end goal. It's for us to be able to play at a higher level than that. Additionally to these meetings that we have, we also have a platform that's specifically for the Courage Gym. It's an app that you can download on your phone or use through your desktop, and it's our own private community. You can find out what the different events are that are upcoming, the different gatherings, as we call them, that are coming, so you can get your schedule together. There's a discussion group, there's a discussion feed. So in real time, we're sharing different things that we're working on. We're encouraging each other. We're challenging each other. We're asking questions. We're getting curious about each other. But like, picture basically like your own personal Facebook. We use an app called Mighty Networks, and if you've ever had that experience, but it's really built to facilitate a community, a mastermind, and a peer group. And so you'll have access to that, and you'll use that along the way as well. And then from there on, the way I look at it is every person who joins the Courage Gym shapes the way that it looks. It changes as a result of you being a part of it. And so with that things will continue to grow and expand. That's one of the reasons I love the brag zone and knowing that you can never get too big, because we're only going to make this thing bigger for what you need, all right? Now, the Courage Gym is a place that we have specifically curated with the people who are involved. And it's so interesting. Whenever I say that, there's a taste in the back of my mouth that comes out. I'm like, it's not elitist. That's the thing. I'm like, is that the case? No, it's an incredibly inclusive environment. The thing here is that we set a bar that anyone can clear, but at the same time, it's a really high bar. And the high bar here is that you come in willing to play out of your comfort zone. You come in being someone who's on a mission and is willing to do the work internally to then be able to create results externally. And that you give more than you get. We're a community of givers. That's one of the things that allows this place to keep growing, to keep going. So people are bringing in their skill sets. They're jumping in right off the bat, knowing that who they are is already of value. And the other criteria that we have here is that we should all be a little bit inspired and a little bit intimidated by you. And that's what I filter for. Here goes the thing. In these different areas, you may not know it. You may not see it. You're that's okay. My invitation is, if you feel that the Courage Gym is a place where you would be served, if you're being surrounded by a peer group of other people who are choosing unconventional paths and are making their own way forward in this world, then come in. And there'll be something about you, and perhaps that's what the Courage Gym experience ends up being for you, where we all get a chance to experience what intimidates you for us, or how you have your unique blend of inspiration, and so on and so forth. It's a really great thing that we brought together, and I'd love for you to come be a part of it if it's the right thing for you. How you do that then is firstly, you attend a guest experience. I want to make sure everyone knows, with walking in with eyes wide open around what the Courage Gym is, right? So you come to a guest experience. You can go to niiamah.com/beourguest to get your guest experience invitation. After you come to a guest experience, you'll experience it just like this. Well, each time we do it, it's a live session for the members of the Courage Gym that we've invited the public in to be a part of it. We've invited you to be a part of it here. You get one invitation. So it's not something where you can just keep coming back in. You get one chance to come and experience the Courage Gym. Doesn't mean you need to join right away. You can come back a year later and say, yes, I'm in, or you can decide later on that day. But you get one chance to come and experience this as a guest. After you've had that guest experience, you'll get an invitation to integrate. That means to take some, to really complete the experience and see what are the insights you got, and how will you apply it? Because we're opening up different things, and it's up to you to see how you want to apply it to your own specific situation. And then if you'd like to continue, you get an opportunity to have what we call an alignment conversation. And in this alignment conversation, you schedule it. There'll be an email that comes up. You can schedule the time to meet with me. It'll be done either in a one-on-one conversation or in a small group conversation. And we'll talk specifically about you and your journey and how and what you would want to get from the Courage Gym, as well as what you would want to bring to the Courage Gym. And from that place here, we'll have that conversation. And with that, then, if we're in a place where we both feel that the Courage Gym would really serve you, there's a lot of different ways that I can serve you, whether it's in the Courage Gym or other coaching or different resources, whatever it is. If we both are in agreement that the Courage Gym is a space that would really support you in your journey right now, then you'll get an invitation to come and join us. And your membership starts once you've made the financial investment. Now, I'll also let you know here that the investment to be a part of, the financial investment to be a part of the Courage Gym is the easiest investment typically to make. If this is for you, you can go and make that. But we ask for an investment of courage. We ask for an investment of integrity, of your energy. There's of your heart. Like we really look at this as something that we are growing together. It's not just a course that we're in. We're in an experience together. We're on a journey together. So take a look at those investments as well, and make sure that that's something that you're committed to. And if that's the case, you can go ahead and use the link that we send in order to schedule a conversation to get into alignment and decide if you want to come and be a part of it. So we'll play it at that. I'm going to get ready for everyone to come back in, and we'll continue on the conversation from there. I'll talk to you soon. All right, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm seeing smiling faces. Okay, we're going to spend some time here. Let's just breathe in real quick. We're spend some time here just like debriefing and working through this year in a group setting. What I didn't mention is that when we go into the breakout rooms, the things that are said in the breakout rooms aren't recorded, right? So that's an opportunity for us to continue to have additional privacy and to play out a little bit throughout here. What y'all don't know is that while you were gone, I made a message to people here just to let them know about the process of joining the Courage Gym. So I'll probably make one more mention of it before we end here, but you're not going to see me do a long thing about this here. I was able to use that time to so that we can spend more of our time here together, right? Cool. So I want to bring us, I wanted to continue to explore this with all of us here. And while we were gone, I came across a poem. Actually, I was like, I'm really curious about settling and some poems associated with it. So I found one that I wanted to share with you here. It's from a website called hellopoetry.com. And it was written back in 2014 by someone whose, at least their username was Hollow. The poem is called Settle Me Nowhere. Move me fast through the winding roads, the tumbling winds, the deepest valleys, and the highest peaks. Settle me nowhere. Move me across fields of gold, azure skies, and silver linings, because no one drew a line I would not cross. Settle me nowhere. Move me, pick me up and throw me over the sleeping bodies of water and the restless hearts of the sands. I am closing my eyes now. Settle me nowhere. Move me, weave me within the greenest trees, tussle my hair when the ride gets too calm. Settle me nowhere. Move me, let the skyscrapers scrape the sky, let the towers tower, let the roads twist and turn, and let houses be houses, because I am not far from my own. Settle me nowhere until the rain patters and the beach plays with sandless shores. Settle me nowhere until I am home. So let's play here a bit here. You got a chance to spend about 15 minutes getting to know each other and also exploring some of the areas right now where you may be settling. The breakout rooms are there for a reason. And when we come out of a breakout experience, there's a way that we share with each other. The thing is that we don't actually speak to anyone else's specific experience in there. We don't talk about we don't share how we felt someone would feel or what we thought about it, nor do we share any of the specifics that were mentioned in there that were about someone else's experience or someone else's sharing. That being said, you can share whatever you want about your own experience. Part of your courage journey might be to take it out of a private environment and to put it out into a larger context, right? You can share that. And again, remember, dissent is welcome in this space. Your share might be, that did absolutely nothing for me. And that is important too. That is important both for you, and it might be the biggest insight that someone else gets out of the result of this, to be like, to really see, oh, actually, what could I have done differently? Or is that also possible as well? I invite us, as we share here to use some of our modalities here. And the modality here is really the reason we're doing this is so we can each see each other more clearly as we are, to see what is normally not seen, and to say and hear what is normally not said, right? And so one of the ways that I invite, you can share about your own experience. If you want to share about like someone else's, the experience you had collectively, you can do this by sharing, by bringing in one of two different sentence stems. The impact of your share on me was or is. And then you can share what's there, again, without bringing out any specifics, just allowing it to be there, and let that be the gift that you're giving the person of knowing what that experience was like together. Or you can go and share what I get about you, right? And then you can share, hey, what I get about you is, without giving any details there. We can use that as an opportunity to come together. So there's three ways to play. Share your own experience and anything that's come to you. Share the impact of the experience on you, or the impact of someone else's share, without giving out anything specific there. Or share what you get about that person. Right? And we'll play it that way. And the whole thing here is for us to be seen and seen and heard more visibly. This is actually a part of our own visibility play, which is something that we leverage here in the Courage Gym. So let's play this out here a bit. Elisa, Liana, you've gotten a chance to get to know each other now. At least a bit here. What is on your heart that you love to bring into this space?
And you said it has to be one of those three things. Was there something from the poem that I felt like I wanted to express, but do you want one of those three?
You're trailblazers, guys.
I felt more, because typically I'm the person that's like, oh yeah, I want to share the impact about this person and things like that. But like, there's something feels like more moving in the space of that poem that you wrote, and it's actually like a real.
Read it.
What's that?
I didn't write it.
I'm sorry. I meant to say read it. I knew that. However, I said it. Yeah. Okay. So what you read is that the feeling for me about settling. Like when you said settling before, it felt like, oh, I'm settling for this. This is what I have to do. But in that poem, what felt different to me was that, like not stay in this place till I felt home, till I felt aligned, till I felt like this is the place for me, and just having that place where I felt like unsettled, like it was has felt like a very hard journey to like be unsettled and to have that self-discovery time, and to feel like I'm just floating around without purpose. But in that poem, the way I felt it was just that it's such a beautiful thing to know. And I've always felt like even my uplifting group, it's a mountain and a balloon, and I've told my husband that he feels like the mountain in our relationship, and I'm like the balloon, like that there's nowhere to go but up type feel from Mary Poppins. So like, those visions of that just kept coming to my mind of like, I love having my mountain and my strength and like that little piece of holding me where I am, like feeling really grounded, but more of me, like if it was a percentage, like 75% feels like the balloon, but I still have my mountain and my base and the people in my life that also create that, and me within myself, what I create. So it felt like settling was just that feeling really grounded of being home and in alignment of who I am and what I'm doing. And that power of saying no to anything that doesn't match that. A lot of the things that I said in that space before, it just gave a different context to those things. And yeah, I can share some of those real life things if that fits in. Yeah, I think I will do that. So some of the things were the level of client. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. Yeah, he was just like, yes, go. So like that's the feeling and the metaphor, and then so like the real life is what feels like that is the level of clients that I am going for. Like not, yeah, I have this thing of like good or bad isn't a level, but the level of where we just match and click, and we're meant to be serving each other. Like that needs to be at a certain level. My mindset, who I am, I feel like is there, but my mindset and enrolling them and being in that conversation is not. So that's one, settling for the level of client. And then the other one was settling for, we've talked about before, this thing of manipulation. So if I manipulate time or people to like have them in my life, so I'm settling for not creating the timing for the things that I want, and not settling for the things of how I exactly want my business to look, like the outline of it. I'm getting there, but just saying like, yes, this is what it's going to look like. These are who I'm bringing in, and not settling on anything other than that. Yeah. So. And how my family is integrated into all of that. And it doesn't have to be compromised. Yeah.
Anything else?
And my health. Yeah, that was from the conversation we're having. My health does not have to be compromised. I can make time for the running, being active that I love to be doing, and being out in nature. That is an essential, and I need to, not settle for anything less.
Thank you for letting us see you here. It was actually really interesting. I was trying to unmute my mic, and in the space of trying to unmute my mic, it took me just that bit longer, and you're able to bring something else into the room. And so I'm glad for my own mini technical difficulties. But and I'm also glad that you use the space. You own your space, Liana. If I can just reflect that, the impact of you being in this year is, I feel like Liana sees the space and she doesn't need to take it. It's already hers, and it is really powerful to be in that experience with you as you own your space. So thank you for sharing here. Thank you for letting us see you in this conversation, and we'll continue our journeys on as it goes along.
Thank you.
Lisa, how about you? Is there anything that you would want to bring into the space?
Yes. This is to Liana. What I got about you, and now what I get about you is, one, you make your own rules. And two, you have a compassionate heart for service.
Thank you.
Thank you, Elisa. Before we move on, anything else?
Nope.
All right, wonderful, awesome. So, now we get to play with this here. We spent some time. We're exploring different areas. Part of why I like to bring to set us up in these kinds of conversations or in these kinds of prompts here is to give us a chance to look at our world from a different perspective. Right? And we constantly play this game of I would call it like a tension of, taking things out and looking at it from another dimension, a multiple dimension perspective here. And then going back to say, okay, for where we are right now, with what's happening in our lives right now, and where we're looking to get to, where, like, how do we integrate all of this here, right? What I'll do here, we're gonna move here, and we're gonna move into something that is a modality of hot seat coaching. So we're gonna get the opportunity to, actually, I'm looking at this here, I'm like, all right, we'll see. I'm like, do I want to do hot seat coaching or do I want to do a mastermind? And for me, that just opens up the space as to how we all get a chance to play together. So let's see this. Let me take both of. Let's take that out of. Let's take modality out of the equation here, and let's say this. Let's now take some time to move from the elements of, let's continue this journey. We were talking about settling beforehand. What I want to do now is give us a chance to see where we're moving on the journey. And there's two other areas that I want to give us a chance to explore. So if you have a pen and paper around you, go ahead and bring that out. There's two questions that I have. And then what we'll do here is that we'll just speak, as a result of this, we'll speak we'll coach. We'll just do some coaching. And we'll allow it to be organic in terms of what that looks like. Okay, so the two questions here that I have, if the question here is around crossroads, and it's a very simple one. What is the crossroads that you find yourself at this time? What is the crossroads that you find yourself at this time? I'm going to invite you to start answering that question for yourself. But as you're answering it, I also invite you to ask that question maybe 2 more times to yourself. Like, is this really the crossroads? Or if I made a choice down this path, what would be the crossroad I would immediately go to next, right? I want to make sure that we really get into the true crossroad that you're at this moment. Right? So allow yourself to go a couple layers deeper, or a couple roads further. And there we have it. Yet another. Good. Keep that. We'll play with that there, and I'm good. We'll keep going from there. If any other ideas come up, keep letting it go. Let's go into the next question here, right? And the question here, this is around orientation, right? So when we're playing the uncharted journey, it's not like the path ahead of us is not known, right? And so one of the things I want to give us a chance is just to come back in and anchor in on where it is that we're looking to get to, right? And so the thing about this, as I say that, the thing that feels out of integrity is that, at least the way that we play this game, we're never getting to any place in the future. We're always modeling and practicing and being that person right now in our present, right? So this is a 2-part question. If we are modeling the future that we want to create, let's go underneath that premise. We are modeling the future we want to create. Who are you currently showing up as? Basically, the question is, what are you modeling right now? That's a question. If we are modeling the world that we want to create, what are you modeling right now? And be honest with yourself. Take an honest assessment. And this is an opportunity to get to see for yourself, to get into alignment, to see where you are with that in terms of what you're modeling. And then the secondary question here is, if you're in true alignment with the future that you're looking to create, how would you be showing up in your world? And that would be what, like, how would you be modeling that in your world? Through who you are and the corresponding actions. Allow that to percolate there. Give it one more minute, and then we'll open up the conversation and coaching. I'll say this as we wrap up those thoughts there. You can continue to work on it there. One of the most challenging things that I have in facilitating and leading some of these conversations is really allowing the time for time. There's so much that there's like there's a visual element of this here where I'm like, okay, you know, am I allowing too much time here? Does it look like there's too much time here? Does it, like, what if people are done really quickly, so on and so forth? And I'm recognizing that as we do this, like, this is part of the gift that is the Courage Gym, which is like both space and time has been allotted. Like this like, if we aren't using the time now, then we have to go out and find another time outside of this year, and we've already chosen for this year. So I'm stating that out loud here because, like, I can feel myself, even just in innocuous ways. I'm like, let me pause the recording, you know, so that, like, when someone watches this later on, they won't have. I'm like, no, this actually, that time could be a gift for them to actually sit down and answer these questions as opposed to just jumping on and moving on forward. So that's playing out for me in real time. I wanted to let you all know. Awesome. So we've taken a look here. We've kind of had a little bit of an arc and a journey here in our conversation today. We've taken a look at settling and kind of like where we've been or where we may have been. We're looking at the crossroads. So I would look almost like at the settling in terms of like the past. We have looking at the crossroads, and we're like saying, where are we right now in this moment? And then we took a look at it and said, okay, what are we modeling for the future? Yes, we're addressing it here in the present moment. So we saw what are we currently doing? What's our status? Essentially, we're looking at what's our status quo. You know, I would say that's for the like what's our status quo now? And let's be, if we're going to be intentional about getting back to creating a new status quo or a new version of that, what would that look like? Right. So what I want to do now is just open this up here for coaching. And I love being able to, when I say coaching here, it's about letting us bring our deep curiosity to one another into this space. Bless you there. And really take this from the thoughts that we've had over here and bring it down into what's shown up in our world. So we have time to do, we have time here to do maybe one like in-depth coaching here. We'll see how it goes. So I Elisa was like, I already got what I needed. And that happened in a question there. So what I mean by that is that we can have life-changing experiences in 3 minutes. And we never really know what the actual thing is, right? So let's open this up for some coaching. We'll spend about 10, 15 minutes on this, and then we'll wrap up for today. All right. Is there anything, it can be about anything that we've covered today, anything at all. The thing that I look at is what would make this, what we need to talk about now for this to integrate as a life-changing experience.
I can share mine, but I also have this feeling of like, Elisa, if you just shared what, just sharing out what we both thought too. But
Really quickly, Leanna, before we go forward, there's something in there. There's information in what you just said. There's insight in what you just said.
Yeah.
The things that come up as you're saying this on my dimensional level here, right? Was Leanna waiting out of like being polite to see if Elisa would say something or not? And then the other side of it that also came up was like, does Leanna have a request? Like, is there a curiosity that she has? Is there a request that she'd like to bring into this space here? There's no rules around how we play this game.
Yeah.
Even when I set up a rule, it immediately gets broken.
Yeah.
So
I think it felt very powerful for her. And it's weird. Yeah, I guess my hesitation in saying that is like, should I be saying that she needs to do something, but like, it just felt very powerful for her just to say those things that like, boom, this is it. And like, that's done, like whatever that was, that's what it felt like. But yeah,
before we go further really quickly, right? Yeah. It's like, let's take that in there. Like, she said something, you experienced that as powerful, right? But like, tell us more, like what's going on within you? What's that about for you?
Well, I just love I'll just say like the impact on that is like, it could just be like, boom. And it was just, it was fun to experience, just be like, yep, that's it. And there it's done, and how, powerful that is. So I could just feel that power, and it shifted what I was saying at the end here and thinking about sharing. I'm just saying like, yep, this is it. This is what's happening. So yeah. That is.
As you said that last bit there, I experienced what I felt was like, I felt myself in my seat physically. It almost felt like you talk about the balloon in a mountain. I felt like more mountain in that there.
Yeah.
Where I was like, oh, this is it. Like there's a solidness to it versus there's something else. Okay.
Yeah, because usually before when you'd ask like the question, what are you modeling in the future? What do you want to create? But then how would you be modeling it? I used to like, how can you true alignment? I used to be like, oh, I'm weak, and you come into each conversation in a different spot, but you don't know all the things that you've done to kind of get here. And so before I'd be like, oh, I'm so weak in this area, and I've, this is what's going on right now. But really the point that I've gotten here in this area of whatever it is, like for an example, like what I'm modeling for what I want is that, we follow our inner guidance. We do things that are in alignment with us, follow our intuition. And I wanted my daughters to see that, like what we're passionate about and know what we're meant to do. I want my daughters to know that. So on like one level, I could see my life where I'm working, extra hours and not there for them as much as I, want to be there. But at the same time, it's like, I did quit my job, went into the coaching realm so that I could be with my daughters, like from preschool and there for them. And then I've had to take on other jobs to like do that. So it's like, I am showing them, even though it doesn't look on the outside that it's successful or succeeding, you can feel this like energy behind it of just like, I'm doing what needs to be done in order to show them that that's what you do, even if you fail, or even if you, and your eyes fail, or whatever it is. And just, I know them seeing that and modeling that. And I know I'm going to be successful on the other side. And that's what it'll go to, like, they'll see that path. And that's a bigger gift than just having just have been successful right off the bat, and it's something in our like lineage that hasn't happened in that thing and for women. And then I also feel like it's a collective experience as well, and to feel the emotions and the feeling that goes out to a collective thing for women is really important to me as well. So I do feel like I'm modeling what I want most in the world, and it's my daughters first and then the collective. And that's what's happening, like you said. And then the last part with that of like the crossroads, just claiming that this crossroads of being this, energetic coach that does the big mountain, and then the likes to fly around and help other things. Like there's a space where that that can happen, and it's going to happen. Like I'm going to have my boundaries, or for my mountain, it's like the structure and everything. I'll have my structure. People will come into it, and there's also going to be this place where I just like fly and like bounce around and Mary Poppins and, you know, and all of that. And like both of those are very there. And this is what's happening right now and is moving forward. Yeah.
Thank you, Leanna. I was really feeling you when you were talking about your daughters, and what you're modeling there. There was something deep within me that was stirring. I recently became a father myself, and as you were talking about this, that really it hit me. You know, I'm like, oh, like what am I modeling in that regard as well? One of the things that, as you were talking here, like it's really great. Like again, the goal here is to continue to see you and allow more of who you actually are to be upfront and center most of the time, if not all the time. Right? You mentioned something and you put it in air quotes, and so as a coach, I like to examine the air quotes. You know, do you remember what you put in air quotes?
Successful.
Successful. And it was really interesting because it's like, and this year, I'm gonna invite you. This is the tool that I call defining success, right? So like, and this is an important tool for us as trailblazers, for people who are creating their own ways in the world. If we wanted the success that other people said was successful, we would just be doing that. But we've chosen a different path. And what sometimes doesn't happen is that our metrics of what success is, our definition of what it is, and the metrics as in how we measure what success is, doesn't get updated along the way. And it's not to say that we need to go off and completely abandon other traditional measures of success or other areas that are of import, you know. But it is important, I think, when I was hearing this here, it's like, oh, she has one definition of success and there's another contradicting definition of success, which is actually getting the space of successful, quote unquote. I want to just call that out. I invite you to take some time as you're looking at the crossroads here, as you're looking at what you're modeling, as you're looking at mountain and the ballooning as well, to really just take a few minutes to define what success really is for you. I think there's an intrinsic element of what it is, but I think there's power in claiming what success is for you, so that such that you're not, I'm gonna say the word, apologizing for not having success in a way that it might traditionally or conventionally be looked at.
Yeah, I love that you said claim, because it's like, I feel like there's another, I mean, that's why I put it in air quotes, because I'm like, I don't want to have this successful life that other people have said, but also, like you said, defining for myself what that would be. And then it's the part of that celebration too with it. Yeah, that's great. So yeah, claim success, and what would it look like?
And I think it's important to claim that, like, say it again.
And how it already is. Yeah. How I already am. Yeah.
I think there's power in claiming that, and that power is actually felt by potential clients and the people that you interact with and such. There are a lot of people who are trapped by other people's definitions of success, and for you to have taken the step to own your own and to claim it and to step outside of the trappings of other people's definitions of success is a powerful move, and it actually attracts people, and it has its own gravitational pull to it, and so. I'm stating this because, like, especially I experience you. The more we, like, if you play back some of these things, you'll hear us reflecting back how we experience you in your power, right? We want to make sure that I want to make sure we're calling out this here, you claiming this here, so such that pull and that power can also exist as well.
Thank you.
Let's go here. Elisa, is there anything present for you? Is there anything that either you want to share, or that you would like some coaching on, or that you want to just bring into this room here? We have a few more minutes before we end here. I just want to be with you. We're going to put our attention on you. That's basically it.
Oh, Well, I was ready to put more attention back on Leanne. I'll take it. So, okay, can you prompt me, because I don't remember what your prompt is, but this is how I want to show up in these next 3 minutes. You know, the declaration statement that you had us made? Can you tell me what to do? And I'm going to re-declare who I am.
Yes. Okay. Elisa, in this moment, declare for us, who are you?
Oh, is that easy?
I don't know. I'm making it up right now. I know the declaration statement that you're referring to. I'll tell you more about the land.
I will declare this.
No, yeah. No, like, so let's look at this here. Elisa, we see you, and in this space, you have the opportunity to make a declaration. And in this declaration, it is you claiming, it is you letting us know how we play with you and how you show up in the world. So we don't need to overcomplicate this here.
Yeah.
Declare for us, who are you, and let us know.
Okay. I have two statements. I'm going to add my own rule. I'm going to make a declaration and a truth. I am abstract, I am beautiful, and I am expensive. And something that's true about me, and this is for myself that I'm sharing here, is that being a hot mess for me is just a feeling that is fleeting.
So it is. Thank you, Elisa.
Thank you.
So we'll do this here, bro. Like, we are essentially at time. I don't need to fill up time here. What I'll do is I'll let anyone who is watching this in the future know how they can continue with us, and then we'll leave here with just one last one closing word from each of us. So you're getting the chance right now to see what we do here in the Courage Gym, to really experience what we do here in the Courage Gym. We meet people as they are, and we help them continue to elevate into who they know they truly are. And we use whatever tools we have available in order to make that come to life. It's so interesting. I find myself talking about the tools here because I think that, when I think about the definitions of success that I take on, that fits in it. To be honest, we are incredibly present with one another. And we bring all of the gifts that we've had, all the experiences that we've had, all the curiosity that we've had, and we cut out the BS and we get to the core of the person and make sure that that person has their chance to shine in this space and to shine so brightly that they can go back out in the world, which might ask them to dim it once again, and for them to know with absolute confidence that, like, because they were courageous in this space, they can go out and do it even further. Sometimes we'll talk about the deep inner parts of us. Other times we'll go out and talk about how we can raise $1 million to give as a prize for one of our one of the gifts or grants that we want to give as part of the nonprofit work that we're doing. Like, we don't mess around. We have a good time, but we don't mess around. We play while we're not messing around. This is the Courage Gym. And each time we come together, it looks different because all of us keep growing. We are not the same people every time that we come in. And every time that we're here, we are present with who is in the room and what we are each modeling and what we are practicing in that moment. So I invite you to come and be a part of the Courage Gym. If you haven't yet had a guest experience, go to niiamah.com/be-our-guest. Be our guest. And come experience and come get your guest experience of the Courage Gym. We welcome you. We're here anyway, and we're having a great time. We welcome you to come and join this party that's taking place. And if you have had this experience and you're like, I know this is what I'm looking for, then go to niiamah.com/alignment and set up a conversation with me to discuss what a potential future in the Courage Gym might look like. Again, this is highly curated, and the bar to this year, it's so funny. It's like, it's incredibly high, but at the same time, it's open for anyone, like, come in willing and ready to show up as yourself, to go down that path, the uncomfortable path of bringing out more and more of you out in the world, and to give more than you're here to receive. And to know that in entering this space, you are entering as someone who is both in where we're all just a bit more inspired and a bit more intimidated by who you are. It's just that simple. So we're looking forward to coming and having you join us in the Courage Gym. We'll keep going on with some of one of our fun times here. As we close this party, this gathering down here, I'd love to go to, I want to acknowledge you, Elisa. I want to acknowledge you, Liana. Thank you both for playing full out here and for giving us a chance to see each of you more clearly in this space. Elisa, I really want to acknowledge like how much you claim, your power here was just oomph. This is it. This is who I am. This is how I'm showing up. I want to make sure I'm reflecting back that that was not lost. Was not lost on me, and that was incredibly impactful. Let's leave this space with us each saying one word to close us out here. What is it, if you had to bring your takeaway into one word, what would that be? We'll start off with Liana. We'll go with Elisa, and then I'll close it off.
This impact was from Elisa. Directness.
Thank you, Liana.
Next level.
Thank you, Elisa. And for me, present. We'll see you in the gym. Talk to you soon. This is what we do. Hey, so we're back here. Right after we finished the recording, the members in the Courage Gym, they came out and they let me know something. They said, hey, we actually want to have an opportunity to share about our impact and the impact of this experience, the inside of this year. And we've been talking for a bit here, and I just decided let's hit record again so that we can both share that. But as they're doing, I want to just share the impact that this has had on me. Niiamah said it right before we hit record, we are actively co-creating this space. And what I get from this here, as we go and we share the impact and wrap up the session we just had, is that each member of this gym cares about curating and bringing in other awesome people for us to go and play with. And I feel that very, very strongly in this moment. So I wanted to say, I acknowledge you, both of you. I'm grateful for both of you here. And there's no playbook. We can make up our own rules about this. So I appreciate the feedback. And we decided to hit record again and make sure that we got a chance to really close this session out as we should. So I'd love to hear from each of you here. What was the most impactful thing? What's the greatest takeaway that you're leaving here with, so we can really close this experience? Or actually, that's it. We closed the container before, but what we're really doing here, and this is where it really it's really hitting me. We're actually continuing to open up our relationship. We're opening up things overall, and seeing where we're going to take it from here. So, Elisa, Liana, I want to give you each a chance to share your greatest insight or what's playing out for you. What was the impact of this conversation for you?
I'll start. So you had said we're on a path that is not known. We're in uncharted territory. We're on an uncharted journey. And I feel like I had done some of my own work on my own, not right before this, but yesterday, right? And I had all these insights, but then because of the journey you took us today with all the different aspects, the breakout room, the poem, the questions, and then the sharing, the impact there, that helped me to go so much deeper than I could have on my own. And I was able, even though I didn't share it all here, I was able to have some really huge aha moments for my own journey, and to continue to expect, and my anchor is now in the unknown journey. And I am very grateful for that.
Thank you, Elisa. It's good to have you here. I'm glad we're going to be playing.
Then my piece of this, if we're talking about the unknown, the biggest impact is probably coming back on here and recording this session or this piece right here, because that is my greatest joy about being a part of this group, is because it's co-creative in the unknown. And as a creator who wants to create that in my world, to see it being done on the level that you're doing, Niiamah, and with these amazing people, like Elisa and I were like, all right, we're gonna be the welcoming committee and stuff too. So like bringing that fun, but like that multidimensional depth and courage as well. Like playing in both of those worlds is what I love, and that's what's present here within this group. And I just know by like the courage that I'm taking here, it's going to come into my own life and what I create. And I will have had, like you said, that practice of creating this unfolding community. I just love that piece of whoever it is that comes into this space, it's going to be forever changed. And yeah, we just don't know. Like, it was just fun to share ideas of what could it be like, who could come in, what could I do for them, how can I serve, like just serving in ways that I've never thought of. And so that's the impact of me, of having this space to be able to play and in my fully expanded spirit and with people that are playing that type of game that just love to co-create in the unknown. I'm just so grateful for. And yeah.
Well, I want to thank you both here. We talked about modeling the future you want, and you gave me a chance to, like, this is what's real about being encouraged, Jim. It's like I'm playing too, you know, and I'm incredibly grateful, because what that means is that you all are also co-leading me, you know, and I am finding that new things along our path, and that's going to continue to get reinvested into our space here. Thank you for seeing me, and thank you for choosing to show up in the best interest of you and others, and then just deciding to keep playing. This is what it's about here in the Courage Gym. We are creating this here, and like we practice creating in this space, and we go out and we create in our worlds as well. It's a really wonderful thing. I see you, and if you want to be a part of this, I invite you to go to niiamah.com/be-our-guest. We're having fun. We're creating this thing together. And we're just doing whatever it takes as we go on our journey. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you both.